Good morning. I'm Jacqueline Matter. It is 4 a.m. on this Wednesday, June 10th.
And I'm Stephanie Ramirez. Thank you for starting your Wednesday morning with us right here on Fox 5 and streaming on Fox Local. Here's what's happening today.
Right now at 4, the heat and humidity return. The D.C. region could also see strong storms today. Taylor tracking what you need to know.
Plus, the head of Loudoun County Public Schools in the hot seat. The questions the superintendent is set to face today on Capitol Hill.
And countdown to the World Cup. With just one day until the big games, one team will be training for their match in Northern Virginia today. Your news at 4 starts right now. Well, good morning. Glad to have you here with us on this Wednesday as we move right on through the week. And I know we have been talking about this heat, humidity, and the storms that we are expecting. You know, we talked about this for how long over the past few days, Taylor? And guess who forgot her umbrella today?
Oh, no.
I'm ashamed.
Well, so is it going to impact the morning commute, or is it really later in the day?
I do think we'll see maybe some showers out there this morning. I actually had them coming in this morning. They're very spotty, but the storm threat will be more or less this afternoon. So, yes, it is going to be kind of an active weather day in terms of, something we're going to see more than what we have seen over the last week or so. So back to that more or less summer trend. It's going to be hot. It's going to be more humid with a chance for some afternoon storms. So, of course, we'll have more on that coming up. Ladies?
All right, Taylor, thank you. Developing in D.C., a toddler grazed by a bullet in northeast D.C. Police tell us a 3-year-old boy was taken to the hospital with a graze wound to the ear. This happened just before 10 o'clock last night in the 1700 block of Benning Road Northeast. No additional information has been shared about a suspect at this time.
And this morning, D.C. police are also investigating a deadly shooting. A man gunned down yesterday outside of a post office on Southern Avenue Southeast. D.C. police saying that this happened in the middle of the afternoon near homes and businesses. The man who died has not been identified yet. No suspect or motive information at this time either. Police are asking anyone with information to please give them a call.
The man accused of shooting 2 West Virginia National Guard members in D.C. expected back in court today. Ramanullah Lochinwall pleaded not guilty in the ambush-style attack that killed Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom and wounded Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf near the White House last November. Lochinwall faces several charges, including first-degree murder. The government has signaled that it may pursue the death penalty.
On Capitol Hill, tough questions expected for the head of Loudoun County Public Schools. Superintendent Dr. Aaron Spence and other school leaders have been called to testify before Congress over policies lawmakers say have sparked concern among parents. The district has been dealing with a series of cases involving students accused of illegal recordings inside schools. We're going to have Fox 5 Maureen Ume with a live report coming up in about a half an hour, 4:30.
Well, this morning, the driver who was behind the wheel of a massive tour bus that smashed into 6 cars in Virginia will face a judge.
5 people were killed on I-95 in Stafford County. That's where Fox 5's Melanie Alnwick is live this morning with what we can expect today. Mel?
Good morning. Well, Jing Shandong will have actually 2 court appearances beginning at 8:30 this morning, one in district court and then another one in circuit court, where he faces 5 felony counts of involuntary manslaughter. The 48-year-old tour bus driver from Staten Island, New York, spent 10 days in the hospital after the crash. He was released from medical care Tuesday and booked into the Rappahannock Regional Jail. Virginia State Police say Dong was behind the wheel of a tour bus with 34 passengers headed from New York City to Charlotte, North Carolina, south on I-95 in Stafford County early in the morning on May 29th. Investigators believe Dong never hit the brakes before plowing into 6 cars that were slowing for a construction zone. 5 people were killed, including 4 members of a Massachusetts family headed to a wedding in South Carolina. 44 others were injured. Virginia criminal defense attorney Dimitri Pikrelidis says the driver's plea will be important to watch.
One thing that matters here is if there's some form of guilty plea to this action, that helps the families tremendously because it basically ices liability in terms of the civil context, which is very tricky in Virginia because of contributory negligence. We don't know if there's a sudden emergency. We don't know if he was distracted. We don't know if he was sleeping, or we don't know if he was just driving plain crazy. We just don't know. So there may be mitigating factors. Maybe this man had a heart attack and he never had a heart condition. We just don't know. And that's a viable defense in Virginia.
Now, Virginia State Police are still looking for witnesses in that accident, and we do know that there is an NTSB investigation ongoing as well. Again, the court hearing begins at 8:30 this morning, at least the first one. The driver is being held without bond.
All right, thank you for that very important update, Mel. This morning, 6 adults and 6 children are without a home after a fire broke out in a building on 56th Place in East Riverdale, Maryland. Prince George's County Fire Department responding to a blaze there. They say the fire's now out. At least one person was taken to the hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. An investigation into what caused the fire is underway.
Well, 4:05 now this morning. Let's get you outside for our first look out the door. Looking pleasant out there as we get our Wednesday started. But Taylor's saying today really being that transition day, right?
Yeah.
As we kind of change into some different weather patterns.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I noticed this morning it's significantly more humid out there, and that's going to be on the rise throughout the day. We'll get back to that summer pattern with a chance for some showers and storms out there. So here we go right now. We're actually dry at all area airports currently. That won't be the case, though, all day long. Temperature readings are currently in the 70s for most of you. We have some isolated 60s popping up. Regardless, it's going to be a warmer, if not hotter day once we get into the afternoon. So here's a breakout showers early this morning. You can see we have a lot of moisture around us, so you may get a brief sprinkle out there early this morning. We'll see that shower threat go up mid to late morning, and then additional storms will likely pop up once we get into the afternoon. So one of those days you'll have to stay on alert just because we are looking at the chance for maybe some severe weather by the afternoon, maybe some showers through 9 a.m. Noon looks dry, just more humid, 80 degrees by then. We're into the mid 80s by 5 o'clock with a better chance for some afternoon scattered thunderstorms. So high temperatures today will be jumping above where we were yesterday into the mid to upper 80s for most of you, and it only gets hotter after today into Thursday and Friday. That will be more or less the peak of this hot stretch with temperatures in the mid 90s. It'll be very humid out there. Looks like we'll at least see a nice drop in the humidity heading into the start of the weekend. Jacqueline?
All right, Taylor, thank you. Taking a look at our traffic here this morning as you head out the door. Just a look at your drive time, some or ongoing construction, I should say, this morning. This on the outer loop through Cabin John to McLean between Clara Barton Parkway and Georgetown Pikes. Just some minor delays, traffic getting by in the right lane only, but you're not really seeing too many cars out there on the roads at this hour. Also 395 heading southbound. This is that construction project between Glebe Road and 236 Little River Turnpike. Traffic again getting by in the right lane only some minor delays. Lastly, let's take a look out towards 395 heading northbound. Looking good there. All green. 9 minutes to go between the Beltway and 14th Street Bridge. Carmelo Anthony has been convicted of murder and sentenced to 35 years behind bars in the stabbing death of a track athlete from a rival team during a high school track meet. Investigators say the confrontation began after Anthony sat under a tent belonging to Austin Metcalf's team. Multiple witnesses testified that Metcalf repeatedly asked him to leave before the stabbing. The defense argued that Anthony acted in self-defense but did not call him to testify. Texas law allowed Anthony to be tried as an adult even though he was a minor at the time of the stabbing. He'll be eligible for parole once he has served half of his sentence.
The U.S. military carrying out airstrikes on Iran after an Army helicopter crashed near the Strait of Hormuz. President Donald Trump blaming Iran for the crash. Officials say it was a collision between an Apache helicopter and an Iranian drone. Both U.S. service members were safely rescued by a Navy drone boat. Tehran is already vowing to respond to the strikes. This complicates ceasefire efforts and with the Iran war, which has led to an increase, actually spiking fuel prices we are all seeing all across the U.S.
Well, the search continues for survivors in the Philippines this morning after Monday's devastating 7.8 magnitude earthquake. At least 37 people were killed in that quake, hundreds more injured. And at this hour, 4 people have still been declared missing. Meantime, more than 30,000 people have been displaced. For 2 days now, crews have been searching through the rubble of buildings for any possible survivors. Monday's earthquake is one of the strongest to hit the Philippines in more than half a century. The government says more than 100 government buildings were damaged in several provinces. Congress handing a win to President Trump, passing a $70 billion ICE and Border Patrol bill, funding the agencies for the remainder of Trump's term. The vote narrowly passing by just 2 votes. It follows weeks of roadblocks as Democrats push back against the president's immigration policies and his proposed anti-weaponization fund, which could pay out his allies or even January 6 rioters. That bill will now head on to President Trump's desk.
The White House plans to repeal a ruling striking down the Trump administration's $100,000 fee for HB-1 visas. The fee was meant to deter companies from hiring foreign workers. A coalition of 20 Democrat-led states, including Maryland, sued the administration, arguing the policy just hurts American businesses. The fees have created friction among Republicans on Capitol Hill, who are echoing talent concerns from big tech companies.
Well, coming up, lawmakers doubling down on demands for the military to share more on what they know about UFOs.
Plus, we now know the faces that will soon board Artemis 3. What's next for NASA in space? But first, Taylor.
We're going to return to a more summer-like pattern today. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid with a chance for some storms around. I have a full breakdown of that timeline of those storms coming up right after the break.